In this problem, we see that Kevin is bowling in a tournament, and he's got a bunch of scores here from the games that he's played, starting with this game of 259 points and ending with a game of 204 points. He really fell apart there in game number 5. So the question is, how many points does he need to score in his sixth and final game to finish? That's important. It's the sixth game to finish the tournament with an average, okay, we're looking for an average, of exactly 239 points. So this is a little bit more of a sophisticated averaging problem because it's asking you what score is necessary to get a certain average. It's not asking what the average is of these 5 scores. Although, if you average these 5 scores together, you might find that number in this list. That would be a trick. What we're doing is we're averaging 5 known scores with an unknown score together. So here's how you do it. You just take these numbers and you start adding them together. 259 plus 241 plus 224 plus 242 plus 204. Okay, those are the scores we know about. And there's this sixth score. I don't know what it is. It's X. We would love to know it. But we're going to say that's the score in his sixth game. We're going to add all those numbers together, divide it by 6, and that will be the result of 239 points. That's his average. So this is an equation. We're going to try to solve this equation now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by 6. Okay, I multiply 239 by 6, and I multiply this left side, or this top big number, by 6, and that cancels out the 1/6. So what you get is, I'm not going to write this all over again. Let's do a little copy-paste action here. Copy, paste, there we go. Okay, so I've got this big number here, or this set of numbers, and that equals 239 times 6. 239 times 6, which is 1,434. It is calculator time. Now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract all these numbers, okay, from each side, minus all this stuff, minus 259, minus 241, and so on. Okay, so 1434 minus 259 minus 241 minus 224 minus 242 minus 204 equals 264. So he needs to improve his game. He's got to step things up a little bit if he wants that average of 239 points. There's my answer right there. Now, another way you could do this, if you're crunched for time and you don't quite see the way through it, is just figure out the average of those first 5 scores. Okay, let's do that. Let's say 259 plus 241 plus 224 plus 242 plus 204. Okay, I'm going to say the sum of first 5, this is a good strategy, equals 1170, which means the average of the first 5 games, we divide that 1170 by 5, the average is 234, okay? So if my average is 234, and I want to finish with 239, what that tells you is you need a pretty good score to move your average up, because that average that you want is higher than the average you have. So I know I'm going to have to move the average up by a good bit, 5 points in one game. So that gives you a hint that we're talking about something towards the end of the list. If you have to make a guess, this isn't a bad way to do it. You say, I'm looking for a big number, so I got to move my average up a lot. Okay, I think that's enough about this. Now, I want to talk about one other type of problem which you might run into. Maybe a test phrases it differently, and it simply says, first 5 games. First 5 games have an average of, I don't know, we're going to say 245. Okay? What is score in game 6 to get average of 248? Okay, so now we want to move the average up, same idea. But instead of telling you the scores in the first 5 games, all I'm going to tell you is they have an average of 245. It's a different flavor. Same style of problem though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, look, I have 5 games, and the average score of those 5 games was 245. So it's just 5 times 245 plus x. That's my total score, and I'm going to divide that whole thing by 6 games, and that's going to be the average over 6 games. Okay, and now you can solve this equation. So play around with averages a little bit. This is a good way to get practice at it. Yeah, good luck.